browser.
Fusion is revolutionary.
Fusion reaction in T-minus 3, 2, 1. Fusion! You don't know the power.
The math is unfootable.
Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
Get to the chopper!
Press go up.
Gigantic fusion reactor that just works.
Multiple income streams and real yield. Ooh, yeah! Cheats can no longer dump on your heads. The revolutionary decentralized finance protocol. Fusion reaction in T-minus 3, 2, 1. Fusion! You don't know the power.
The math is unfootable.
Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
The mothership.
And what's it gonna do?
Everybody excited.
Oh, hell yeah.
Give my creation! Fusion.
Get ready to rumble.
Fusion.
Gotta do a huge shout out to Cool Sheet. That song just hits.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the official EMP Full Ecosystem AMA, coming to you every Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. My name is AJ, I'm the team lead here, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host with the most and fellow team member, LA. LA, how are you?
Hey guys, I'm good. Welcome everyone.
Yeah, no doubt. So we had a really big episode today, LA. We have some major ecosystem updates. This will be part 1. There will be a part 2 next week, but we want to go bit by bit. We have an update on Plazm. Basically everything that is under what we call our mothership is evolving. And some people get scared and panic, but we've been at this now for 3.5 years, and there is absolutely no reason to basically give up when we have the conviction and the momentum that we've had over those years. Now, again, we'll get into all the details as we go and do a deep dive on what's happening and what we're doing, but just go in with an open mind and understand that fundamentally nothing has changed whatsoever. And if anything, these are really, really bullish additions and changes for the ultimate success of everything that we build. So, all right, before we get into all that though, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps the algorithm and helps us get the word out to more people. Also, if you, I can't get the comments working on screen tonight, but if you have a question, please feel free to type it in the chat as well, and we will get to that at the very end, as always. So, all right, let's jump right in. And first things first, just a little bit of market update. we saw a big dip today again, I swear. The markets revolve around our Thursday AMAs. It seems like we always have somewhat of a dip on these on Thursdays. And again, this is all short term. Overall, I think we're still really bullish. The Fed did announce another rate cut. You would think that that would be a catalyst, and then we dump. But that is just proof that all of this is manipulation, and you know, it is kind of a double-edged sword. I mean, we were all excited and at one point hoping for big players to enter crypto and really legitimize the space. But the other side of that sword is now we have, huge money being able to manipulate the market. And it really takes some time for, the distribution and the capital to settle to where that, crime season can't really happen anymore. So, all that being said, I think we're super, again, fundamentally strong. Over the next year, I think we do see all-time highs again on both ETH and Bitcoin, and therefore alts. Um, it just further confirms that we are in an extended cycle. And, the market always does what you don't expect. And so for me, everybody's saying, it's over, the sky is falling, Dumptober instead of Uptober. And to me, that says it's a buying opportunity. And that will be a recurring theme that we go over tonight. Make sure, again, this is not financial advice, this is life advice. Make sure that you're in projects, whether it's ours or Bitcoin or ETH or whatever, that you have conviction in. And this is something we talk about a lot, um, or we have talked about a lot over the last 3 years. And LA, I'm sure you can expand on this, but it really helps your emotions and your short term decision making when you are actually committed to a project. And, we have said all along that we don't get it right 100% of the time. And obviously, we can't guarantee success, but we can guarantee that we don't give up and that we keep pushing on and that we do what's best for the protocol overall. And so, if some of you are able to win with that, then great. And some of you may lose with that because you are moving on, and that's okay. We're not here to convince anybody of anything. We're here to build real yield products and embrace decentralized finance. And those that are committed and have conviction have a lot easier time, with the volatility. So, LA, I don't know if you want to mention that. I know emotions have been high in the community
Yeah.
week. So, yeah, I don't know if you want to add
I
to that.
just want to highlight actually all the people who have been such a positive force and who do still believe and who continue to forge on. Also, those like Grover and John who provide us all these amazing tools. And huge shout out to Stinky also, who's just like a little wizard behind the scenes helping us so much. But the community is really coming together, and this type of time shows you like who's in this for the long term, who has that long term mindset, and obviously no hard feelings for anyone who doesn't and is ready to move on. It's been a long road, but we're excited about where the future is going as always, because we are going to continue building, and we never seem to quit.
Yeah, no doubt, LA. I agree 100%. And, we haven't come this far to just pack up and go home. So, yeah. And honestly, it's been a learning experience. I mean, we've grown as a development team, as team leads, as a community, and we've learned from our mistakes. And that, I think, is the most bullish, in that now we're moving to, a backbone of real yield that is not reliant on new users. Obviously, new users help, and that's how we scale. But having solid economics, non-inflationary tokenomics on literally everything that we do, real yield through bonds and contrary liquidity providing, that is real external yield coming into the system. All those things are the DeFi 4.0 and what all successful projects are moving towards. And we've done that, and everything that we continue to do will just amplify that. So, All right, LA, I'm gonna have you. We did a kind of an update. We'll start with EMP. We do have some really big changes coming to EMP and EMP Fusion. EMP specifically, we will address in the next update. Cool Street said this is our HBO miniseries. So yeah, we'll have part one tonight and then part two next week, so that we don't overwhelm everybody. And again, nobody is going to be left behind. Again, there's some speculation on some things that just simply aren't true. This is just something that we need to do, and for lack of a better term, rip the band-aid off to have a really successful product and ecosystem moving forward. So, Ellie, if you don't mind, if you can just go through and read our announcement, and then I'll elaborate on each point at the end.
For sure. And as AJ mentioned, this announcement we put out is part 1 of 2. So we're going over the whole first chunk of information tonight, answering questions, going into detail. And then next week, we will be going through the next chunk in part 2. And then next week, you'll get that in written form as well. So we've had some big announcements regarding EMP this week, and there's more on the way. Fundamentally, nothing is changing. These decisions that we're making are just good for the greater good of the community and will literally slingshot us into a way better position when it comes to sustainability, safety, simplicity, and everyone's favorite, more yield. This wasn't part of the announcement, but I just kind of want to add in, I've noticed so many new people coming into the EMP community from Plazm the last month. And so many of you are actually on this AMA right now, and we're on last week. We had record numbers last week. But the common thing that we keep hearing is, I don't understand. I've watched all the videos. I've read the white paper. I just don't get it. If they haven't been here for all the AMAs over the last year and a half, it is really hard to figure out on your own just by watching the videos if you haven't been ingrained in it. And so a big part of what we're doing here is simplifying and making it easy for not only our existing community to stay involved, but to welcome in new community members without there being such a learning curve. So we obviously will try to keep this announcement part straightforward and to the point. For tonight, we're going to mainly focus on eSHARE. So eSHARE is now transitioning to being on base chain only. The protocol-owned liquidity has been pulled for eSHARE on the BNB network, and it's been added to base network. This will allow us to deepen and consolidate liquidity moving forwards and dramatically simplify the process. I will go ahead and post the link for the official LP on base, and I'll put that in the live chat right now.
Perfect. Yeah. And I'll show how to bridge too in a second, LA. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
If you do have eSHARE on BNB network, it's super simple. Selling it is not the answer. That's not what we're intending for you to do here. It's very easy to bridge your eSHARE from BNB network across to base. If you do have LP, you'll have to split that and remove the liquidity first. But it's super easy on DexFi to bridge that over. The DexSwap site and bridge will be discontinued on BNB network in the short term. And this will allow us to regroup, focus our development, and establish a plan for the future. The goal is very much still to incorporate this as a major revenue stream for the future. But for right now, we have to consolidate, simplify, and focus our development manpower on specific things that are going to move us forward as quickly as possible. So please pull your LP from DexSwap if you have any LP on DexSwap, and then bridge your eSHARE over to base network. If you do still have liquid EMP that hasn't been sacrificed into Fusion, we highly recommend that you sacrifice it into Fusion as soon as possible. And we'll definitely expand on this in the next announcement and on our next AMA. But just keep in mind, this move is extremely bullish for Fusion and our future. It's also very bullish for Plazm to deepen the liquidity and minimize confusion surrounding liquidity. And we get it. We know these are changes, and a lot of people are uncomfortable with change, but we promise that this is actually going to make things a lot more simple and a lot more successful moving forwards.
Amazing. Yeah, 100% LA. And that really is the crux of all this. So you took the words out of what I was going to say right off the bat, and that is simplicity. I mean, we really, really are focusing on keeping everything as simple as possible. And no matter how many tutorials and videos and education pieces we put out, it's really difficult to uh, continue to get people onboarded when we have liquidity on 2 different chains, where we have 2 different tokens on 5 different chains, where we have a bridge, we have our own DEX, all of these things, again, we're in the efforts of real revenue and creating real products. And that's not to say that we're giving up on those, but we are consolidating. And, right now it's about focusing on what is working and what has the most impact in the shortest amount of time. And again, back to my ripping the band-aid off comparison, we've done a lot of things to incentivize people to do what's best for the protocol and ultimately what's best for themselves, even though they may not understand that. And now we're having to kind of force the hand a little bit, but everybody will get credit, and this will ultimately lead to more yield and everything that we built Fusion to be in the long run. So, all right, let me show how to bridge and just go over a few of the things that Ellie mentioned in the announcement. We can go ahead and start with DexSwap. Actually, let me show that. So, if you know how to create LP and have provided LP, then listen up. If not, then you don't need to further confuse yourselves. So just don't worry about this part if you've never created LP. But essentially, you can go to liquidity. You can go to my right here, and it'll show you, all the positions you have for LP. So if this is blank, then you don't worry about it. If it's not, you click on whatever one. And again, we've already removed liquidity here, but it'll say remove liquidity, and then you get your tokens. And again, this will be discontinued in the short term. We are, again, consolidating our focus on base network. Obviously, all the momentum, all the capital, the vaults have the majority of the fees, and LPs, bonds now are on base, so everything is on base. I saw another comment that, why are we moving to base? Because that's where all the action is, and ultimately it makes it even easier to onboard because you can get capital in directly through Coinbase. And they said, why aren't you going to Sonic instead? And that just made me laugh really hard because Sonic is absolutely dead. So anyway, the whole idea is that we are moving to a chain. We still like BNB. I think BNB is bullish. It's a lot more centralized, and the success of the chain is in fewer people's hands. But right now the best move is full ETH exposure on base. So the only thing that you will need to still do on DexSwap for the next week is if you haven't bought EMP, this is really the only way to get it right now. And the liquidity is very, very low. So you may only be able to buy, $10 or $20 worth of EMP right now. So just keep that in mind. And there will be a much better way of getting into the ecosystem if you don't have EMP yet when we move to base. So just keep that in mind. Again, there's some things a lot of you might read in between the lines tonight too for our second announcement next week. But right now, it's mainly about preparing for eShare and making sure everybody's good with that. And so you can get to it here on DexSwap. you hit bridge right here, or if you go to the vault, dexFi.com, you can also get to it up here, the bridge. So the bridge is super simple, super straightforward. We use it for GDEX and for eShare now. So all you have to do is pick BNB Chain. It will show how many eShare you have. You hit max, and you bridge it over to base. So the fees are very, very low. Again, there's a very small fee just for the gas. But yeah, 0.1 eShare roughly. So you're good to go. And you do want to make sure that you have Ethereum on base. So right now, through both Rabby and MetaMask, or really any crypto wallet, there is so many good in-wallet bridges now that you can just try to swap right in your wallet or bridge right in your wallet if you need gas to have ETH on base. But you will want to move all your current eShare that's on the BNB network onto base. And the only way to do it is through our official bridge. So what you don't want to do is sell your eShare and try to buy it back on base, because you're going to get killed with slippage. So again, and these are the official LPs. Let me go here. All right, so as you can see, you're getting warnings already. The liquidity is very low. Only $1,000 left of liquidity on DexSwap. There may be a little more liquidity on PancakeSwap, but do not try to do it here. You're going to get killed. Over here is the most liquidity. So again, at one point it was about 100 grand of liquidity. Now it's about 50, but that's just from the recent dump. And again, this is just panic. I mean, fundamentally, eShare will have a ton of utility. Just like we used eShare for settling all transactions in Fusion, that is still going to happen. So again, nothing fundamentally is different, and eShare is a very, very low supply token. Again, that was another comment I saw. People said that the supply, doubled or tripled on base. Again, that is just being misinformed. The supply is a cap supply. The reason the supply went up on base is because people are bridging from BNB, but eShare is and always has been, a cap supply token. And we were on a halving model, but now again, some alpha for you. Moving to base, I don't think we're going to continue that, meaning it will truly be deflationary. So now, you are getting, a true max supply, and a very low max supply. I mean, there's only about 55,000 eShare in circulation. So really, really low supply. And as you can see, the market cap is ridiculously low. So all of that fundamentally is really powerful and piggybacks on Plazm as well. So and then one last thing I would say, we do recommend the Stargate bridge. So if you do need help bridging ETH, again, remember the only way to bridge eShare is through our official bridge. Don't get scammed. But we'll also post the link to Stargate. That's a really good bridge. Or Bungee is another one. So, all right, does that help, LA? Illustrate how to get over? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool. All right, let me go back to our notes. And was there any other questions that you saw pop up that were specific to this? I know we'll get to them all at the end, but
Not that we need to take a break for at this very second. We can
all right.
go forwards for now. Though there's one, is there a time limit to move your eShare from BNB to base?
Yeah, so as of right now, there is no time limit. But there again, there is a time limit. We just haven't specifically come out with that yet. So the short answer is just to do it ASAP. But yeah, eventually we will be shutting down the bridge altogether, and DexSwap. And that's also, again, not that we have had an exploit. Again, that was another thing. People are speculating that, we're doing this because of security breaches or whatever. No, the reality is that we don't want to have those happen. So we're basically shutting off all the potential attack vectors before they happen, and making the protocol, no matter what it is, that much more secure. So it also is a security ops reason as well. Well, all right. So yeah, short answer: bridge ASAP. But we will update you on a hard deadline when that happens. So, all right, let me go down and see what else with eShare. All right, so with eShare specifically, again, we're moving to base so that we can consolidate liquidity, make it easier to get everybody involved, to piggyback on Plazm with the success that we've had, and being, the main liquidity pair on Plazm. It just made sense to move everything to base. And again, it will be way better for the long-term health of the protocol. And we're building a healthy treasury as well. So as you know, there's a Genesis wallet. Part of that goes to building liquidity on eShare as well. And so the buy and burn with Plazm will also directly benefit eShare. That's why, again, people, panic selling, it makes absolutely no sense, because there is a buy and burn attached to eShare now on top of, the fees from the Fusion marketplace. There's real yield supporting eShare, and our treasury has multiple LP strategies now that are creating real yield to buy and burn both eShare and EMP, or buy marketplace, buying exact points off the marketplace. And again, all that will be talked about more in the update number 2, but not financial advice. Again, reading between the lines. If you have any liquid EMP, you will want to sacrifice it immediately. So do with that information what you will. But all right. So yeah, is Fusion moving to base? Yeah, pretty much. Without confirming that, I have confirmed that. So yeah, everything that we have is moving to base. So short answer is yes. Fusion will now be on base. All right. Why has there been so much selling pressure on eShare since the announcement? The short answer is panic. I mean, again, fundamentally, nothing else has changed. Maybe people are, giving up and moving on, and that's okay. I mean, again, we as a protocol are not here to convince or work for anybody. We're here to make a successful long-term protocol that people can get involved in and win, if they are, participating in the way that is intended. And we are one of the only protocols, again, through real yield, that can have that happen. You don't have to have somebody necessarily buying your bags, at a higher price because of real yield. And GDEX is a great example of that. I mean, again, if you want to look at the same fundamentals applied to a token rather than, our Fusion ecosystem, again, GDEX is that, and it's been really healthy up and to the right, through, fees and real yield that the protocol earns. So all that will also happen within eShare and Fusion. So all right, and then the last one is, what is the future for eShare, and has the utility changed? So the future is very bright for eShare. The utility has not changed. If anything, it's gotten more bullish, and will continue to always build on top of eShare to make it even more scarce. So again, at a at a $2 million market cap, which I think is very reasonable, that's a 10x from here, and now we're right back where we were, a few months ago. So again, please, it's more than that, I think, even maybe, yeah. Again, I'm terrible doing math on stream, but we're looking at very high upside potential because of the low supply and the economic energy going into eShare. So, all right, LA, I think that's it for the major update and eShare. You want to move to Plazm?
Sure. Do you mind just mentioning specifically how Plazm benefits eShare and encourages burning and all that stuff?
Yeah, for sure. So, right now, Plazm's biggest LP is with eShare. So, again, it's a bit of a double-edged sword because when people sell Plazm into eShare and then sell that eShare for ETH, it does, reduce the price of both. However, the buy and burn is very, very powerful. So the buy and burn and the buy and build, we call that the BBB just for simplicity sake. And with the bonds right now, and again, this is what blows my mind with people selling, there's $400,000 right now in the treasury earning roughly $900 a day. Actually, it's a lot more. We just had the bonds update, and now they're doing 100% APR. So it's more like $1,000 a day for this week. And that is feeding, buying and burning on both eShare and Plazm. And why it's both is because we're using USDC as the rewards from bonds. And so it has to go on the market, buy eShare first, then buy Plazm. So and then burn it. So you're always routing through eShare, and it's buying eShare to pair up with Plazm, which essentially locks the supply of eShare into that LP. And so again, even though it's not technically a double burn, that is also reducing the circulating supply of Plazm and eShare through deepening the liquidity. So all of those things over time have a net positive effect. Everybody says crypto is zero sum. It's not zero sum because we have real external yield always buying and burning both Plazm and eShare and building liquidity on Plazm and eShare. So indirectly and directly, it supports both tokens. Does that help, LA? I don't know if I got too much in
Yes,
the
that was
weeds.
awesome.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. And I get it. I know a lot of that's complicated. But again, AI is your friend. Type into AI, if you're not very familiar with this stuff, type into AI what I'm saying, watch some YouTube videos about liquidity providing or concentrated liquidity, and hopefully that will help you understand a little more. But it's not just something I'm saying on an AMA. This is actual math that can be proved on chain as well. So, and we haven't even turned. We'll get into that a little bit next with Plazm, but the buy and burn still hasn't even been kicked on really yet. I mean, we're doing 1% of each pool, so we're not even seeing the buy and burn really kick in whatsoever. And those that want to sell in the short term, we're not going to provide exit liquidity for them. We're going to wait until the majority of the supply is out, and then we turn it on. And right now there's about 20 grand in the buy and burn just waiting to do a giant green god candle. So again, don't get fudded out of your own bags. And sometimes it's coordinated FUD. You never know. People like to manipulate charts, and maybe a big whale sold on purpose so that they can buy your Plazm and eShare at a lower price. So just remember that as well. That was another reason I said conviction is really important, because you have to believe in the project to be able to weather that FUD and fundamentally understand what is actually happening behind the scenes. So all right, LA, do you want to go over the Plazm announcement, and then I'll elaborate again?
Yeah, and just to kind of wrap that last section
Oh,
up,
please,
I
yes.
just wanted to get across the fact that just because we're moving all the liquidity on eShare over to Base, it does not mean anything has changed negatively in regards to eShare. So don't take today's price as any indication of the future. In fact, it's bouncing back incredibly. It's already gone up by almost 18% in the last 6 hours, but there is still all the existing utility plus this added liquid utility from Plazm, plus, you know, whatever else we're building out in the future to support eShare. But
Yeah,
yes.
100% LA. And you know, again, to piggyback on that, we saw that when we did a 10x on eShare, just getting ready for Plazm. So every time we build more use case and utility onto eShare, it only increases the floor because there is only so much eShare available, and you get into an incredible supply squeeze or supply shock when you know things are going up. And again, the timing is just crazy. You know, we had this big dump, and then you know the same day ETH goes down, you know, 6% as well. So just take a step back and look at the trees instead of, or look at the forest instead of just the individual trees.
Mhm.
So
I've seen a lot of people in the community really stacking up right now, and that's why we're
yeah.
bouncing back so fast also, which is amazing.
Totally. And again, there is very, you know, liquidity works both ways. You know, it's great to have deep liquidity, and we're always adding to liquidity, but having a thin liquidity on eShare, you know, also helps it go up a lot quicker and faster. So remember, you know, even if your coin, and this applies to anything, if your coin is down, you know, today, that is what we call unrealized losses. So you know, unless you panic sell, then you don't actually have a loss. And again, people don't seem to really grasp that. But you know, the more time you're in crypto, and the more you learn, and the more you again have the conviction, all of that gets very, very a lot easier in the long run. So, all right, go ahead,
Absolutely.
Ellie. Yeah,
All right, let's talk about Plazm because we've got some exciting news here. There's officially, probably by this point, over 100 ETH in the treasury. So in just
for
the
sure.
first 26 days, we've managed to get over 100 ETH into the protocol and earning real external revenue. And that means roughly 850 a day, adding to our perpetual buy and burn plus burn, wait, buy,
Yeah,
buy and
buy
build.
and
Yeah,
burn and
buy,
buy and build. I
yeah.
know, we're getting
Sorry,
confused
tongue
too.
twister.
Yeah,
Every single day without depleting the principal amount, which is incredible. This
for
is a
sure.
giant benevolent whale that always has your back, buying and burning Plazm forever. And the best part is it's only getting more powerful over time. We don't need new users to survive and the constant panic of a draining treasury like a lot of other protocols. This is long-term sustainable growth that is wired for the future.
I love it. Absolutely, LA. So let me pull up Plasm as well, just so people can see as I go through this. But yeah, I mean, you know, we, even though there's a giant red candle today, the fundamentals of Plasm have never been better. And you know, I've said this before, and I don't want it to come across as FUD because I love a lot of the other daily creation platforms. I'm in them. We support them. We have great founders like you know, with TitanX, and Eric with DragonX, and you know, Steve with cryptographics with you know Taurus and Unity. So again, none of what I'm about to say is FUD. We support them, but we really have solved the number one issue that we see in these sort of protocols. So let me go ahead and pull it up here. All right, so yeah, we are over 100 ETH now. This page right here is our stats page. So definitely make sure that you go to this and look while I go over this. But hang on one second. All right, so this will help you really understand where we're at. And so again, even with the major sell-off, you know, the numbers are still incredibly bullish. So if we go down here, you know, we see that we have now about 102 ETH overall. And again, that number will fluctuate because even though there's new ETH coming in, remember when you create or stake, all the ETH of that goes into bonds, which creates real yield. So it does fluctuate based on the overall performance of bonds, but as long as we get new users coming in, that number will always go up. And even if it doesn't, or even if we don't get new users, we have exposure to the overall market. So when ETH doubles and all the positions that we're providing liquidity on to earn yield, if they go up, this number goes up dramatically without any new deposits. So you're still getting the upside and downside potential of the underlying assets, which is also crazy because when this doubles in a real alt season, the yield will also double. Or again, the math doesn't work one to one like that, but the yield will also go up. And as you can see, over those first 30 days now, we have about 21 grand that is from yield. So this 21 grand is essentially, a benevolent whale that is just ready to buy Plazm and burn it. So when you think about it like that, again, we're not having to sell Plazm to other users to profit. You just rely on the buy and burn to do it. And we've said from day one, and literally you go back and listen to our AMAs. If you're looking to profit in this system within the first 77 days, it is very risky. And some of you will profit, but most of you won't. And so you have to look at this protocol at a further time frame than the first cycle. So again, 77 days is a cycle. Every 77 days, the buy and burn gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and there's less and less supply coming out, which will automatically push the price of Plazm up. So, and the other thing that really helps with that is playing the ecosystem as intended. So let me go here to earn. All right, so even with the price tanking today, we're still looking at a 10,000 plus percent ROI on creations, and about the same, I would think, on stake, maybe a little bit less. Yeah, at 8,000 percent on staking. And so what this means is you are betting or aware that obviously a 10,000% ROI is not sustainable. So that number will come down, and we've said that literally from day one. And there's no other way to display that because we can't predict the future. If Plazm does stay at today's prices, then that is the actual ROI. So again, it's not that we're doing a bait and switch, it's just the reality of how the protocol works. And so rather than trying to speculate or swing trade on the price of Plazm, the whole idea is that you create or stake to earn more Plazm than you could ever buy on the market. And so having that mindset, you get way more of the supply. A lot of the 77-day trades are still way in profit, even with the price going down, almost by half in one day. And that's the beauty of it. So, even if Plazm gets to, 10 cents, which again, that may never happen or it may go lower, you're still in profit because you're getting way more of the supply. And even if after 77 days you're not in profit, all you have to do is come over here and hit stake. And this is what the real smart money is doing. All the Plazm that you just earned from creating, now you can stake that for another 77 days. And now you're getting a massive amount of supply. And by then, the buy and burn will be huge because it's had, 100 days or more to build, and we're off to the races. So again, the downside with this setup is that it gets off to a much slower start, but over the first cycle, it gets dramatically more powerful, and we've never seen something like this in a daily creation platform. The only thing that was somewhat similar was a protocol called DripX, built on top of, or built, inspired by the original protocol Drip, but they were using V2 liquidity providing, and they were farming on Pulse. And so when all the rewards dried up and there was no more incentive token, the protocol went to zero. So again, this is very, very different. We're doing V3 concentrated liquidity providing. We're not relying on an incentive token. We're earning actual fees from trades, and that is the difference. So again, let me just go back down one more time here. All right, so here again, about $1,000 a day on 100 ETH. If we get to 200 ETH by day 77, that is now $2,000 a day, and so on and so on. We get I say this all the time, but if we had 80 million in the protocol like Titan X, we'd be producing $80,000 a day in buying and burning. So you can see that it only grows from there, and literally the only thing that would kill this protocol is bonds going to zero or ETH going to zero, and both of those things are highly, highly, highly unlikely. Again, bonds have been audited. We have very many measures in place to avoid that. It is somewhat centralized, but that is how we're able to get the yield that we're seeing. And you can always check. Actually, I'm going to show two more things really quick. And then hang on. All right, so this is fully transparent. These are the bonds. You can see all the positions we have. If you go to transactions, you literally can track every penny of the entire system. So again, we all the ETH from Plazm goes and creates these bonds. So and yeah, we have 2.2 million overall in here. So all right, so that's that. And then one last thing really quick. Is Fusion Watch. So shout out to Grover and John. And as you can see, this is all the stats. And so, today was a pretty big spike in the supply coming out. And so, we saw some selling. And that's just the way it is. Now, it will level out over the next, 20 days or so. And then we get a really big supply unlock on the day 78 or 79. Just remember though, part of this big unlock is from a treasury wallet. So and that will never sell as well. So there's also benevolent whales within the ecosystem outside of the buy and burn. And that is just from us as a protocol supporting the protocol. So there's very many things that are incredibly bullish for Plazm. So, all right, I think that was everything I wanted to cover. LA, anything else on the list for Plazm?
No, I don't think so. That was very very good, very full.
All right, amazing. All right, let me go back and shout out to all of you. Holy cow, we have a record number tonight, over 150 viewers live. So much love to all you guys and gals. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Let's take a moment to smash those likes right now before we move on to our next section.
Let's go. Hell yeah. All right, let me pull it up here. All right, we're moving right through it, actually. We have one more, and then we'll do questions. And that is our partnership. So we've been strategic advisors, and although it's not under our official umbrella, we are happy to announce a partnership with SuiDex. So, LA, if you don't mind, can you just read that announcement and I'll pull it up on screen too. So,
For sure. So farms are officially live on SuiDex. We're excited to announce that we have our strategic partnership and advisory role in one of the hottest new decentralized exchanges on Sui. This is a traditional V2 yield farming at its finest on a very popular chain outside of our ecosystem. We've spent the last few months working with the team directly on sustainability and healthy token economics, including real yield buybacks. It's time to put your LPs to work. Real yield starts now.
there you
can
go. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yep. A little more. Yeah.
you can stake LP tokens and earn Victory, which is the name of their token. Single stake Victory to earn Sui, and Victory rewards, single stake blue chips to earn Victory.
All right, hell yeah. So, yes, this is with a longtime supporter of our ecosystem, Crypto Mischief. Richie, he's done some great videos on Plazm and EMP as well. And, we don't build on non-EVM chains, and Sui is a non-EVM chain. So, he approached us and said, hey, I know, you guys don't really build over here, but, would you be willing to advise? So, we have got a lot of experience in tokenomics and sustainability of yield farms. That's our bread and butter. And this is a traditional V2 yield farm. So again, like I was mentioning earlier, there's V2 and V3. V2, you get a reward token. In this case, it's called Victory, and that is what you earn for providing LP. With V3, you earn from the volume that the protocol does with fees. So the goal is to eventually make SuiDex a V3, but for right now they're bootstrapping the supply with V2. So again, there's a lot of cool elements. There's also this, if you remember, from SparkSwap. They have a token locker. This works very similar, where you can actually lock your tokens and earn from the protocol fees. So this is a great way to profit without ever having to sell your Victory token as well. So again, I just want to highlight it. Obviously, we like to support those that support us, and we are a direct advisor role in this. And it's just another earning opportunity outside of our ecosystem. So again, check it out. It's on Sui. There's a lot of good stuff happening over there. Solana and Sui non-EVM chains with a lot of support. So, and you can follow Crypto Mischief on YouTube, Richie. He has a bunch of tutorials. It'll show you how to get involved, how to trade, how to bridge as well if you need to bridge over to from base or any EVM to Sui. They have that as well. So, all right, just want to highlight that and go show them some love from us to them. So, all right, anything else on the list, LA?
No, that's it. We can move into some questions.
All right, amazing.
So we only had one on Discord. Let's hop into that one and then we can move on to the YouTube ones.
Perfect,
So
yep.
one on Discord, is the DexFi eShare Vault going to start paying out on base eShare instead?
Yes, so there is no we don't have a vault on DexSwap for vaults. So if it is, it's probably one that was added by a user. And yeah, that if it is on BNB, that will go away. But the main vault is on base already. So if you're in the 50/50, well, actually, let me just pull that up to avoid any confusion here. Hang on one sec. All right, yeah. So all of these will be on base anyway. So if I type in eShare, they're already here on base, and I don't think there is any on BNB. So let me just double check while we're live. All right, yeah. So these are all the official LPs, and these are all on base. So we have a GDEX eShare, the eShare 50/50, the Fusion Flywheel, and all these that will reward the profit token that is eShare. That is eShare on base. So again, nothing you need to do or change from BNB. All right. Does that help, Ellie? Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yes, let's see what we've got on YouTube. Not that many questions tonight, honestly. I thought there would be more.
Amazing. Wow, that is great news because I thought we'd have an hour of questions with all the changes, but I did my best to go over every little detail. And yeah, if there is further questions, we're always around in the socials.
I
But
like
yeah,
this comment from Degenerate Passive Income. Shout out. He says, I'll let everyone know what Plazm looks like after 385 days of taking zero profits and all compounding. I bet I win.
yeah, let's go. So, Degenerate Passive Income, Ryan, we do our own AMA together every Tuesday night. So, make sure you're following him on his channel. And yeah, that he has made a commitment that he's going to do both creates and stakes for an entire year and see, number one, what is more profitable to create or stake, and number two, to give it a whole year to happen. And, to further expand on that really quick, we've said that bonds or that Plazm is essentially a tokenized version of bonds, and the way that it becomes actually even more powerful is what we see today. So those that sell at a loss or at a quick profit, they are now out of the system, and so over time, those like Ryan that are going to take a whole year to accumulate the supply without necessarily buying it, instead they're earning it. That is where the APR from bonds can be 3 or 4x because there's less people in the system that have supply to sell. So again, it's I know it can be confusing, but if you really take a minute and think about that, it becomes incredibly more powerful. And I do think that people will be 2, 3, 4x just from the buy and burn alone within a year, which is way higher than what bonds would be on their own. So again, just some really cool, economics with all of this at play.
Awesome.
All
All
right.
right. I did find a couple questions here from John. When will the marketplace go live again?
Yeah, so again, that'll be outlined in the next AMA, but the short answer is it probably will never go live again on BSC, and it will be live on day one with on base. So again, if you have positions in the marketplace, they will be copied over to base. So again, you're getting a little more alpha out of me. Again, the next update will go over all that, but everybody in Fusion and will be getting credit in basically a simplified version of Fusion on base, and this will be way better for everybody. More yield, simpler to understand, simpler to get involved. And next week we'll do a deep dive. But for right now, all you have to worry about is migrating your eShare, bridge your eShare from base or from from BNB to base. I showed that in the video earlier tonight. And then if you have liquid EMP, you will need to sacrifice into Fusion to get the biggest benefit. So, and that is not to say anybody is being left behind. Just those that are paying attention will get the most out of it. So, a sacrifice your EMP, and we already have. I mean, it's crazy. We make an announcement for the future, and 2 million EMP get sacrificed. So, those that were holding.
I thought that was a glitch. I was going to ask them after the stream. I noticed that. That's actually how much got sacked?
Yeah, we've had incredible sack amounts. So again, this is, and again, I hate to use it as a term of forcing somebody's hand because it's up to anybody to do whatever they want. But liquid holders, we're not at the mercy of liquid holders after this, put it that way. So, and again, all this will be outlined next week, but I'm never been more excited for the future because we just eliminate so many variables now, and we can focus on high APR in Fusion on base.
Awesome. Okay, another question from Silverback. Shout out. AJ, you mentioned bond redemptions would be changing to instant. What is the current ETA on that?
Yeah, shout out to Silverback. And great question, brother. So yeah, that is still in the cards. Right now we say a 2-day window for redemptions, 2 business days. And honestly, a lot of it has to do with some security measures. We've already been able to mitigate some hackers that have hacked somebody's account and tried to redeem bonds and shouldn't have been able to. So that is one of the pluses for a bit of centralization. But that being said, really it's more a factor of the size of the fund. So if we have more capital in the fund, then we can pay people out without having to exit positions, and we could do that immediately. So it's less about ability and more about growth. So, when we get to 3 or 4 million TVL in the bonds, then we can start implementing immediate redemptions. So it's more about capital efficiency rather than, automation. Because we could code it tomorrow to work like that, but we want to make sure all the capital is working, because if we have, 20 grand just laying there for redemptions, then that 20 grand is not earning in LPs. So hopefully that makes sense.
Awesome. Okay, next up, the Daily Reddit. Part of Fusion's success is the completion of the payback of the hacked funds. Is there an update on that payback?
Yeah, another great question. So, and again, this is why people are just not seeing, the forest through the trees. Yeah, I mean, we have paid back roughly 20% of the hack already, and it's snowballing. So we're paying back more and more every week. And once that happens, and we're through that payback, which again, no other protocol, unless they're VC funded or have support from a foundation, hacks are usually a complete loss. So we've done everything we can to make it right, and we're making major headway. And then all of that economic energy now starts getting fed into GDEX and Fusion. So again, there could be literally thousands of dollars a day. We did bonds distributed 50 grand in 1 week last week. So 50 grand a week, even if 10 grand of that went to GDEX and 10 grand went to Fusion, APRs will skyrocket. So again, we just have to get there.
This past week, yesterday's payment was huge.
Yeah, like you can test
very large payments recently.
Yep, absolutely. LA was part of the personal side, and our treasury as well. We get paid back every week for the EMP treasury, from those funds. So yeah, I mean, again, it's real measurable results. It's not just me on this AMA saying whatever I want to say. You can go and look on chain and see exactly, where the money goes.
Yes, exactly. Awesome. Well, that's all our questions for tonight. I'm surprised we have 38 minutes between now and our next AMA, but great stuff, guys. Thanks for all the amazing questions. Thank you for hitting that like button. And it's amazing to see our viewership going up and up every week. It shows that we have a continuing, growing, dedicated community. So we're happy to have you all here. Thank you for showing up, being here, asking your questions. We always love to have you. And we will see you next week. And I just want to say happy Halloween to everyone and to any fellow Canadians who are cheering for the Blue Jays. We're almost there.
Let's go. Yes, no doubt. LA's turning me into a sports fan. She is hoping for a World Series win tonight. So we'll root for you
Tomorrow
too.
night.
Or tomorrow night. Yeah. See, I can't even get the day right. So awesome. Yeah, and thank you, LA, for always being my co-host with the most. Thank you to everybody that's here. My God, we had a record number, about 160 live viewers tonight. So make sure that you share this, like, comment, and subscribe. And we're here. We're not going anywhere. We're here every single week, updating all of you in real time. These AMAs are the best format for that because we can answer, one-on-one and really give a proper, deep dive into anything you might want to know. And yeah, fundamentally, things are looking as good as they ever have. There are a little bump in the road, obviously moving, and people get scared with change, but ultimately it's for the greater good of what we're doing. And real yield solves everything. If we didn't have real external yield, we'd be having a very, very different conversation. But luckily, we were ahead of the curve on that. We recognized that every successful project in crypto needs real revenue, and we're poised for that for the future. So, all right, much love to all of you. Again, we come to you every Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to join us for our next AMA with Universe Madness in about 30 minutes. So, all right, cheers, everyone. Good night. Good day. See you next week.